Hello, hello. Thank you for being here. Welcome to the What is Love podcast. Here at What is Love podcast, we'll be talking about relationships, the relationships we have with ourselves and the relationships we have with each other. My name is Uzo. I am your host. My pronouns are she, they, and welcome to
Oh,
What is Love podcast.
yeah, what's up? Woo!
I'm
Period.
very excited. Thank you so
Period.
much for being here. First, I would love to bring up to the stage my really good friend, Shelly Shell. I asked her to come on here to co host this topic where we'll be talking about relationships, all kinds of relationships, how we show up with our intimate partners and outside of that. So, one more time for Shelly Shell. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
What's up? What's up? What's going on? You already know it's the community homie in the building.
Woo woo. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
Up next is Liquid. I would like to bring up to the stage the MC, the lyricist. Liquid
What up? Ellis for
What
love.
up? Yo.
for love. I love it. How you doing today?
I'm feeling good, feeling great. Everything is everything. It's the age of the Aquarius.
Okay.
Yes, it is. It was your birthday 2 seconds ago, wasn't it? Look at you, birthday.
Happy birthday again, DJ.
Thank you.
Go,
Yeah, I
DJ.
perpetually celebrate 28 or 30 or whatever I decide until I actually turn 40. I'm gonna keep repeating those numbers.
Yes, I love it. It's like back and forth. Which one is it?
Yeah.
Nice, nice. So I want to start off by asking, since this is the What is Love podcast, and here we talk about everything that has to do with love. I want to ask, Liquid, we'll start off with you today. What is love?
Love is freedom. Love is trust. Love is kind. And love is forgiving.
Hmm.
Love is forgiving, including yourself.
Hmm.
Especially yourself. Because I don't know, can you forgive someone without forgiving yourself first?
Exactly.
No, no,
You know? Yeah.
No.
no, no,
You're like, no. Shelly's like, no, you cannot.
no. Okay, it's not possible.
Yeah.
Okay, Shelly, you want to chime in? What is love? The question is to you.
Okay, what is love? What is love? I like what lyric said, liquid said, but for me right now, love is just like life. I'm seeing it everywhere right now. I'm seeing it in everything that's living. So for me, love is life right now. Love is definitely life.
Nice. That's awesome. That's awesome. For me, love is understanding. Like I've graduated from the euphoric essence of love, and like now for me it's more about, instead of just like I love you, it's like I want to understand you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that I can honor your way of existence. So I think for me now, love is understanding. That's what I've graduated into recently. So yeah, it's like having more understanding for myself and having more understanding for other people. So yeah, love is
Okay.
understanding for me.
Okay. Okay. Love,
You
come
like
through,
that
love.
one? You like
Come through,
that?
love. Come through,
When,
love.
right.
I don't want to just love you. I want to
I want to
understand
understand.
you.
I
No,
feel like
you're right. It's a
right.
good
So
thing, right?
when you said understand you, I immediately thought give space, kind of. You know,
Mm,
like yes, we're present, we take up the room, but with your partner, you want to give space for that. I don't know. I guess that bridge of understanding, like
yeah.
how can I just fully like engulf what you know makes you do
You.
what you do, makes you express yourself this way. So I like the understanding
I do
portion.
like that. I do
Mhm.
You
like
like
that.
that? Thank you. I'm glad you like that. That's awesome. Well, yes. Okay, cool. So I want to move over to asking our one of our questions for the day. And the question is, drum rolls, please. Okay, okay. So the second question for the day is: would you be in an open relationship? And first, I see Liquid is on the mic, so come on up and answer the question.
Oh, listen. I need the sound effect for dun dun dun. Would I be in an open relationship? Okay, so I don't know if I'm built for an open relationship. I don't know if I'm built for an open relationship because in some capacities I can be really selfish, but in other capacities I could possibly exist in an open relationship if it were a true open relationship. Okay, follow me on this. I know it sounds a little contradictory, but
Sense.
um, I think that when we think of open relationship, people automatically go to sex as the open portion, and they leave out the different layers of intimacy that can exist there. So
Wow.
for me,
Good.
um, in intimacy and sex are very different things. Like, yeah, they obviously happen simultaneously in a lot of cases, but it can be two different things. And so, like holding hands is really intimate, in my opinion, or it can be hugging, being together, conversation. So it's like if I will say it like this: if I were in an open relationship, I would need very strict boundaries of that openness, and that contradicts I think an open relationship. That's why I was like, I don't know if it's for me, but I'm also a person who is very open with love. I love like fully, like no pun, the whole Aquarius, like I am a true Aquarius through and through. Like I can be so into you, like I'm just falling further into you in all aspects and we've never touched. But I just love this thing about you, and that's how I connect to you, and I'm always going to bother you or pop up in your inbox once every month to be like, hey, how's this thing going, how are you doing? But I don't want to sleep with you. you know but that can be very um it can be invasive, I guess, if I'm committed to someone else, and it's like, why are you giving all this energy to this person? What's going on here? And it's like, no, it's not like that. I don't know, really feel this connection. So it's like a polyamorous connection with people without wanting anything else beyond that. And I know it sounds like, oh, that's just a friendship, but no, it's like I'm really into you, like
Right.
who, and it's like just a select few people that I have that relationship with. And men, women, it's just I'm into this person this way. But it can be perceived as um outside of a regular friendship or best friendship or whatever. And in that way, I think I kind of have, but as it gets murky for me once we're talking about the open physical portion, which is a little bit harder. But I also have friends that, some live that true lifestyle and others just out here. We kind of touched on that before, but in our other conversations. But I do have folks that are just like, they really just want to love and express themselves without boundaries. So I don't condemn it, but I don't know if it's fully for me, but I could probably be in some capacity of that uh, type of open love, open expression. Yeah, I'll leave it there for now. I really want
Okay.
y'all have.
I think that was wonderful. That was great. I think that we have. I think from what you said, what I hadn't considered before was is that it's removing the sex from open relationships or even polyamory or separating the two because for me it's always a part of it. And also what I've learned is that boundaries actually is on the forefront. It has to be in order for an open relationship to actually be successful. You have to have boundaries, but you create it with the person that you enter into the well you establish them first with yourself and then you create the boundaries with someone else. and then be able to and then figure out what you can do, what you yourself like have the space for, and what you can, what's a trigger for you, what you won't do, what boundaries you won't cross, what your value system is, and all those things. Because I entered into an open relationship thinking that it was about not having boundaries, that it was about not being in a space, it was about just free love and like sharing and being honest about communicating, you know, your thoughts, your feelings, and things like that, and always doing that. I thought so, but because I always felt like boundaries was actually the opposite of free love. But actually, for you to have love, you need boundaries. You have to create them. You have to have them in an open relationship. Without them, you won't be. It won't last. It won't survive. I don't think anyway. Well, yeah, that's what I wanted to say from what you said. Go ahead.
How long?
Oh.
Okay, so I have so many questions, right? Okay, so I have so many questions, but I also want to hear Shelly too, and I'll come back. I'm gonna
You'll
just pick.
come back with the questions. You're
No,
gonna
what's the
okay,
question? What's the
go.
question? It might
I
help me.
mean, I want to know more about this open relationship. I want to know more about it, and I want to know about, you know, um, you just discussed like going into it, uh, how you interpreted it, and after being in it, I guess, what would you tell yourself?
Mhm.
After you lived through it, you were in the open relationship and whatever. What would you tell yourself prior to you going in that, if you could go back in time and
Create boundaries, establish some boundaries. Actually, do not take this lightly at all. Do not think that this is, you're going into something that you'll be able to figure out as you go along. It doesn't work that way because it's a relationship, right? So if you make a conscious decision to get into a relate, you're like, can I clap louder?
Listen, no,
No, but
it's
like if you make a conscious decision to get into a regular relationship, like not regular, but like a what is the term for just a monogamous
monogamous
relationship?
relationship. Yeah.
yeah,
When you make that decision, you still have to make a decision, right? And
Mm.
you have to take it seriously, and you have to honor the whatever conditions you two have established, right? But it, and then going into an open relationship, that is such a bigger deal that I didn't consider could actually impact my life in the way that it ended up impacting my life. Because we're saying it's okay to invite a new energy into what we already have created, and that energy is going to create something else with the person I've established something with. And I have to, like, that's a valid thing, but it's like to not have the conscious intention to like be aware of that potential of like or even given that third party, whomever it is, whether it's for them or whomever we end up opening up to, like their existence matters. But in order for that to matter, I have to make it serious. I have to take it seriously and like go into it with open eyes and say I have to create these boundaries because these are different energies that you're bringing into something that's already established. So yeah, I mean, does that answer the question? I think.
absolutely, absolutely. That was, yeah,
You know, and these were things that I didn't consider in the beginning before going into it. And because of my naivete and also not knowing and also arrogance, really, I think it was arrogance of my on my part to not take this seriously, of like, this is actually what's about to happen. Do you understand what's about to happen? Do you understand what you're saying yes to? Do you understand what you're agreeing to? Because there's a chance the relationship will not survive it. And mine didn't. You know, I didn't survive it. So I think that it was arrogance with naivete that was mixed in it, but you have to take it seriously if you're going to go into any open relationship dynamic. I think that those are my thoughts about it. But yeah, so we can go over to Shells. Have you answered the question, would you be in an open relationship or not?
Okay, voluntarily, because I've been in a lot of involuntarily open relationships, right?
Okay.
And for me, here's what I like. Here's what I like about open relationships. Like I said, love. I do believe love is freedom. So I love the the fact that my partner and I have the freedom to just live outside of like restrictions. You don't have to feel like if you're flirting with somebody, you're cheating. You don't have to feel like you have to report back. And you, I love that freedom aspect of it. But what I'm thinking about is like, um, I think monogamy has such a bad rap because it hasn't seen health, right?
Right. Wow.
Monogamy has been so unhealthy for so long that I think that open relationships are now more appeasing because we're trying to break out of the toxicity that came with monogamy. What I would like to do is explore a new term of monogamy, right? Like the way monogamy should look. I think that fits me more because I get jealous. I'm a jealous person. I'm trying to work on it. I am, but what you said about the energy, that's real. And you could feel that in your partner, like you know what I'm saying, they go be with somebody and that's fucked up, and then they come over to you and then that energy, like I don't like that. And I have been in relationships so many times where it's open, right? And you be like, okay, cool, do your thing. And then that person does some fucked up shit and I have to console you over your other relationship, which is taking up time in our relationship. But it's like I want to be there and show up for you as a human being, not as just as my partner always, just also as who you are. But that also it gets tiresome because I pour in a lot to relationships and I be wanting rewards. I'm not even gonna lie. Like I have my reward card and I be wanting my stamps. You feel me? Like I want my stamps.
And I know.
You know what I mean? And like so I'm looking at I've just recently experienced an open relationship. I love the freedom of it. I love the honesty, right? Because you have to be honest, right? Monogamy used to be very deceitful. It can be because you feel like it's invasive. Like you said, it's invasive. It's like I have to tell you everything, but you don't. That's what people think monogamy is, but you don't. So that's what I love about open relationships is that it is you have to be honest because you know you're going into a situation where it's a lot of stuff going on and you have to be real because then it's not an open relationship. Then you're just cheating, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I don't
So
know. Go ahead.
can you expand on that? I'm like a kid in a candy store. I'm like taking notes.
Yes.
I'm over here getting my learn on.
Good.
Um, so what are the exact okay? What are the exact differences in communication when it comes to a monogamous relationship versus an open one? As because I'm the only one here that hasn't been in an open relationship. I've done
So,
open activity. I guess I should
right, right, right.
Activity. I love that. That's
open
awesome.
activity, but I've never been in an open relationship. So, how do those communication lines work as far as being open that separate it from, sorry, in an open relationship that separates it from a monogamous relationship? Um, and I guess because I'm immediately thinking of things that are taboo and kind of,
No, see, that's the thing.
yeah, go ahead.
No,
Like,
it's the fear, right? Fear.
yeah,
So in an open relationship, there's no fear because it's like it's mandated. It's like it's an open relationship. This is going on. We have to talk about these things, and I have no fear of telling you what it is because you already know it's open, right? Uh, well, I mean, this is my opinion. So, um, I see that people have less they're less they will tell you more in an open relationship because they don't have the fear of you, I guess, judgment. But in a monogamous relationship, uh people think that you can't be yourself or you have to like live for this me and you title, we become one and all of this like monogamous it's been defined incorrectly. So
And
uh
practiced.
yeah, defined and protect and practice incorrectly. So I would say the fear is gone in open relationships and in monogamy. People are more fearful of being themselves.
Yeah. I think that the question, what was the question, Liquid? What did you ask?
What's the difference in the communication?
yeah, the communication aspect between monogamy versus open relationship. And
Well,
it does sound more freeing, but yeah, Uzo, I would love your take on it.
thank you. Well, from I think that I feel like if you create boundaries for yourself, period, right? You're able to I feel like it should be the same. I feel like it should be in like in a healthy environment where things are sort of where you're with someone, and I think it would be the same, the communication factor. I think that if I in a monogamous relate, I want to feel as free within the monogamous dynamic.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say, actually. Within a monogamous dynamic, as I would in an open or polyamory dynamic,
Right.
polyamorous
Exactly.
dynamic. And the communication for me, because I want to communicate, I want to know my partner because I love getting to know myself and learning more things about myself. So anyone that I enter into a relationship with, I come in with this appetite to want to get to know someone that I'm with. So honesty is important. So transparency is important, even in a one-to-one dynamic. So for that, from me operating from that place, if I'm going into a polyamory setting, that's going to be the same standard that I have that I'm bringing into that when it comes to communicating with with within this. So for me, it's not separate. It's not different.
Yeah.
Can I ask like a weird, not even, not even a weird question, but I guess it's a little of a sidebar, I guess, to the topic. I just want to know how do you get to the point where you know it's time for an open relationship if you're in a relationship, or B, do you just approach every relationship that I don't know, you meet somebody, you're like, yo, I'm open. Is it just like off top that
Well, actually,
you
when you
know,
think about it,
or,
like most relationships start off open, right? Because there's no real commitment. It's open. You're doing your thing until somebody says, "Hey,
Right. That's
I
great.
want you." Do you know what I mean? It's open already. It starts off open. You feel me?
right?
Um, I think it's a harder transition to go from like monogamy to open. It's gonna take work. It takes work. A lot of
I
communication.
thought it was just going to casually just roll in there.
No, no, no,
Oh,
no.
you
It
going to
takes
be
work.
like, oh, wait, today we're monogamous, tomorrow.
Yeah.
You want to test this out? Then
Right,
okay,
right.
do it,
Nah.
you know? But it didn't work out that way. So, but yeah, go ahead, Shirley. My
And
bad.
I think the biggest, I think what makes monogamy look so unattractive is that people think that it's no, for real, like it's forever, right? Monogamy is not, doesn't have to be forever. Like in an open relationship, people like that. I feel like that ability to just be like, okay, well, I got options. You know what I'm saying? And they feel like their options are cut off in monogamy, but it's like, no, you can still have that freedom and that availability. I love that feeling of just focus on me. Like I don't know, something about that. Like in
What,
that intimate.
what do you mean by that?
Where it's just like we're building something beautiful together. And
Yeah.
it's just us building something beautiful together. Like that's it.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then when we've built it, if you know what I'm saying, when it's built and you ready to go, go. It's already built. The foundation is there, right? That relationship is being created and it's there forever.
So
And
you
you
want
know,
to establish trust first.
I need it. I need it.
Yeah.
And let's just, I mean, you took away, see, we're talking about like these relationships without sex. Let's talk about sex in it because this is probably humanly the biggest problem of both situations, right?
Yeah,
It
yeah,
actually is. Because if you did take it away, it's such a rational
Right.
thing.
We were having, oh yeah, that's fine. I'm cool with this. Now
we're in
let's
the
talk
kiddie
about,
pool,
yeah.
and now let's go to the deep end.
Now you
Like,
put the
we come
seasoning
on,
on
we
there,
go.
it's
You
different.
started the questions. Let's go for it.
You put the seasoning on there, it's different. You feel me? Now we having sex, right? Everybody's having sex with everybody, having a good time, right? Um, like for me, the first thing that I notice is there is a difference in just, I mean, like pH for a woman. Like you have to be careful, you know what I'm saying? Like who you dealing with because it throw off your pH. And then it's like you come back having a good time. I want you to have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Go have a good time. Um, But if you could just bring that pussy back the way you left with it, that would be.
Wait, now you're no, but that's a whole different conversation, Charlie. And you are not qualified to be in an open
That is the
relationship.
quote.
You are not qualified
I'm
to
not
be in an
qualified
open
for the record.
relationship. I cannot, but no, that's a whole different subject.
I'm sorry. I'm
No,
sorry.
It's
That's
like
how
we'll go
these
back
are.
to the no sex.
Listen,
We'll go
this is the
back
things
to
that I'm working through. These are the
Bring
things I'm working
back
through.
how I
Okay.
mentioned something.
we'll do a session after the podcast.
Go ahead. So you was like, no, you don't get to say that. Please,
No,
please,
no,
please
you
tell
don't
me.
get to
Please tell
say
me.
that. You don't
Please
get
tell
to
me.
say that. You don't get to say that. That's
Okay.
so funny. That's hilarious. But no, seriously though, it's I think that it's important to really understand what we're getting ourselves into, regardless of any whatever I mean the structure of the relationship is. And I think what you said, Shelley, was like really.
I
I mean,
told you I'm trying. I'm retired fuckboy. I'm trying.
listen, you're
Teach
doing
me.
great. You want as long as you admit it, you realize and you become aware of it. That's the only place you start making change. You know. But yeah, wait. So I think you asked originally. What was the last question you asked? Liquid. Was it about how do you just walk up and say, "Hey, the transition between
Yeah.
uh,
How do
monogamy into polyamory, right?"
you
I mean, for me, I think that yeah, I had very like different eyes when I decided to go into it. Um, it was something that actually, and also to be honest, actually, the reason why, like, I've always seen myself as this free loving person, but then I have very traditional upbringing, right? So that also plays a part. So I've struggled between landing in a space where what do I actually want to do, right? How do I show up? How do I create a successful, healthy relationship dynamic that can thrive? And I think that for me, transitioning from a monogamous space into an open space was out of fear. Like, it was completely out of fear. I was afraid of losing what I had. I was afraid of losing what we had built. It wasn't working anymore. And it hadn't been working for a while. And we would have moments of joy. We would be, happy from time to time. But looking at the full picture of where we were, I wasn't happy. And I know she wasn't happy either. But I think that me agreeing to that was after an excruciating realization of, like, not being happy. Maybe I can try this. Maybe we can test this out. Maybe this is something that, I'm a free loving person. I can do this. I probably would prefer it anyway, because that's the way I thought back then. And I went into it out of fear because I didn't want to lose, because I thought that would actually save what we had. And it didn't. It actually backfired, because I went into it without being aware of how to create boundaries, of knowing that I needed boundaries, because I really thought open relationships meant no boundaries. You just go into it. And
No.
that's what I thought. And
Right,
I was
right.
like, no, actually, it's all boundaries.
It's
It's
it's nothing
all
but boundaries.
it's
Yeah.
nothing but boundaries. So yeah, for my transition, it wasn't the prettiest.
Yeah.
But would I do it again? Possibly, but I have to get in a healthier. Like, the more work I do, I'm just really content right now with just dating one person. And if it happens to be that I decide to not to, like, open it up and get into open dynamics, I would have to be emotionally ready for that, and I would have to create certain structures and boundaries and put some boundaries in place to be able to even entertain that topic again. So that those were my lessons.
And I also feel like sometimes, like you talked about attachment, I think that's another thing that people are afraid of accepting when a relationship is over, right? We all never want to let go. Then you want to be like, oh well, let's be open. No, we should just end it. It's over. It's over. We had a
Done
good
great.
run.
We've
It's
done
done.
we've done it.
We
It's
did
been
it. We did it. Let's open it up, and you walk out, and then I walk out. Like let's open it
the
up.
door.
Yeah, and yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier about creating something beautiful. Because if you stand and you focus on creating that beauty, when it's time to leave, you won't feel like you're missing out on something or something is you already did it. And I can walk away from this and be like, thank you. This is still here. That still exists. Our love still exists.
It
We
was
don't have to be together.
Mhm.
I think you hit the nail on the head, and like and thank you for that insight, Uzo, because I also I think part of why I was kind of navigating away from being in an open relationship was because of that, and a mixture of what Shelly said too. It's like if it's getting to the point where we have to bring someone else in the relationship for this to work out, we're probably done here, you know. And it's like one of those things where yeah, once we build something beautiful, I don't want to tear it down with some. It's just gonna get
Exactly.
torn down with, and like I already have like 1 to 2 exes that I resent. I don't want to add you to that list. Let's be
Exactly.
friends after this, you know? Like,
Exactly.
just,
Also,
Exactly.
also, it takes courage to break up with somebody. Let's not
yeah,
act like this shit is like the easiest thing to do. Because by the time you get to the point of wanting to break up, you ain't thinking about the beautiful love you got for each other. You're like barely like trying. You barely want to look at the person. You're like because we've exhausted because we don't know when to be like, oh, this is not working. Let's get some assistance.
Right.
Let's go to therapy. Let's
therapy.
Yeah.
get someone to mediate so we can hear each other because obviously we can't hear each other because a lot of times we might be in the same place. We might be feeling the same way, but we don't have the courage to say,
Right.
hey, actually, I'm not happy. Are you happy? It,
Right. Exactly. Are
you know what I
you
mean? Like,
happy?
are you? Because I
Do
don't
you
know.
want to
I
be here?
know
I
we're
don't know.
both
You
in this shit
happy?
together. Are
Are
you happy? Because I know I'm not. You know,
Right.
but it takes courage to be that honest. You know.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna
I,
sit here and pretend and be on some high horse. So I've also decided the opposite. I'm gonna just cheat. I'm gonna do what I want to do. You getting on my nerves.
that's a thing.
I
That
Like
mean,
is also.
act like
that is bold for you to. I mean, not bold. That's great for you to say out loud because a
yeah.
lot
Yeah.
of people have done that, but they don't actually admit
I
to
did.
Hmm.
that. They're like, "No, just go ahead and cheat because you pissing me off.
You
Like I
pissing.
don't want to look at you.
This is an angry cheat, and it's just and that's just so toxic, right?
Yeah. Angry cheating
It's so
is.
toxic.
Angry.
Angry cheating be popping though. It be slapping. Angry
But
cheating slaps. Why do it
it's
slap so good though? Like why do it? Why does?
no, but that's what you
But
think
the
from that
aftermath
thing.
is the
It's
bad.
kind of like doing it's like drugs or doing the initial thing.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
feels good until you have to come down,
Yeah.
you know, and then that's all part of the experience. So, you know,
Yeah.
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 And I think it's important too that I think one of the biggest things that we miss in relationships is knowing when we're no longer compatible and knowing what compatibility looks like for us, right? Yeah, like we don't know if you've been in a relationship and you're not even compatible with this person because you haven't sit and talked about what compliments you, right? Get to know yourself. What's a compliment for me? What do I need in this person to compliment me for them to be able to keep their presence here?
Well, we also, yeah, we feel, I think we think that we expect each other to be the same person for
Yeah.
that all
Yeah.
throughout the entire relationship.
You've been together like 10, 11 years, and it's like you changed.
Yeah. You don't like tomatoes no more? Oh no, this is
No, but seriously though,
No,
it's really, say that again.
no, I'm laughing. Shelly's like, you don't like tomatoes no more. It's like that's the breaking point. Oh no, I can't.
that's the breaking point.
That's it. Gotta go.
You disrupting dinner? No, that's
Who am I gonna eat with now? Who am I gonna eat? You don't like tomatoes. I think I remember a couple who was a friend, who were friends who were a couple talking about spicy food, and someone was like, "How am I supposed to make food? She doesn't like spicy food. You make two versions, like."
no, taste buds is like, listen, that's a whole nother level of
Sensitive
compatibility.
topic.
Taste buds is a whole nother show. Like if our taste buds don't match, like if
Liz,
you like, come
What
on,
we
man.
doing?
How we gonna do this?
how we gonna do
How are we gonna do this?
2 dinners forever is a long time.
Like, if we can't eat together,
Yo,
can we love? Like
like,
that's a question though. If we can't eat together, can we love each
Can
other?
we
ooh, if we can't eat together, can we love?
Is that love? Is that real love? Is
Because breaking bread is like one of the like foundations of love.
like it touches my heart.
It
Like
does.
food is like.
Every time you've
food
cooked
is
for me,
important?
Uzo, I've loved you more after that. Every single time. I'll
Wait,
be
say
like,
that again.
I said, every time you've cooked for me, I've loved you more. I'll be like, yo, I be falling in love like this. Thank you.
Because food is everything. It's
Yeah.
so.
It really is.
So
Mm,
you gotta really look at yourself and the person that you with and look at all of these things. I
yeah.
think we all it needs to be a checklist made or something because we're missing these things. It's just about the fuzzy feeling like, oh, I love the way you feel. Oh, this is amazing. This is great. But it's no
You can't pay
substance.
bills with that. You
No,
can't. You can't make the bed with that. You can't like
you
buy
can't
a
make
house,
sense
get
with that.
get plants. Build with just
No, you
you know.
can't make sense with that.
Like little things I just listed off. I'm like, what does that have to do with cuddling?
But I felt what you. I felt where you were going. You can't do
You
nothing. Is what you were
right,
saying. You
right.
can't do nothing.
You can't make the bed with that. Like it feels really good, right? The euphoria, the excitement, the love, the attraction. All those things are beautiful,
Mhm.
and then you have to get up and
Yeah,
talk to each other, and then hang out with each other
yeah,
and do things. You know,
yeah.
but yeah.
And a
And
lot of that is biological too.
say
Like
that
how we
again.
feel about somebody. Like when you feel for somebody, that's biological. Some of that you can't even control. You have
Hmm.
to like be aware to be like, okay, that's one thing. That's one aspect.
Right, right,
It's one.
right. Yeah, not everything.
It's not
Not
everything. That's
everything.
one thing.
Yeah. That is so true, though. We make that one thing so much bigger.
Yeah, that biology, we make that biology the whole relationship.
The whole,
We
the
were we were talking about that like we were talking about that uh having sex with somebody that you realize you liked. Well, what were we talking about? It was remember what was the topic? It was about like liking somebody without sex. Like how sex make you think you like somebody because you'll have sex with somebody and be like, oh, I like this person, and
yeah.
then when y'all stop having sex, you'd be like,
Yeah.
something's different.
Oh, something.
Something is different about you.
It's like I don't like you.
I don't like you anymore. Actually, I don't like you.
Actually, like we don't mesh. I think that's the part of the compatibility, right? That
Mhm.
comes in because just because you're attracted to someone doesn't mean that you follow you follow down that road. I've had to
Right.
learn that recently,
Mm.
but
Ooh,
it's
that's
just
another
like
topic.
I'm sorry. What was that?
That's another topic we need to write up.
That is a topic for me to have in my world. Hey, this is not for here, this platform. But no, I'm gonna always add a little bit of everything into it. But I think that you don't always have to follow the
Mm,
attraction because the attraction is not always well, and also I mean I think follow because it's hard to deny ourselves our desires, right? But I
mm,
guess what I'm understanding now is that maturity is having that attraction, but having the authority to make a decision about that attraction, to say, hey, what actually is this about? Where is this coming from? And because it's there to teach you something. It's
right.
there to show you something. So if you are mature enough emotionally, then you would take a pause to really assess before making a move instead of allowing that pull to pull you into destruction sometimes
Mm,
destruction, but that's a different topic once
yeah.
again. But yeah, I see
Mm.
you're in deep thought, Shell.
No, I just I was just this this whole topic is just like it triggers me in so many different ways because I really open relationships taught me more about myself than monogamy did. And it's like it taught me what I liked, what I didn't like. And I take a lot of pieces. I want to create something that's like a mixture of monogamy and an open relationship, which is just monogamy,
Mm-hmm.
but a better version of monogamy. Um, because I don't like the extra energy. I can't.
So maybe you want a monogamous relationship, but you not, but it's just a healthy one, or
Yeah,
one
that's what I want. I want a healthy.
you
Yeah,
want a healthy monogamous dynamic
What
because
yeah.
does that look like?
What?
you say, what does that look like?
What does, yeah, because some of the notes that I've been taking from what you all have said, like, okay, monogamy, um, if practiced properly, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because of how we've interpreted or how we practice it does feel, it feels so, I don't know, constricting. It feels so, um, it feels like you can't fully be your full self sometimes, right? Or, and this is just me thinking out loud as a part of this question, but it sounds like a hybrid of parts of an open relationship and parts of monogamy can come together and create something. I don't know what that title would be, but some kind of thing that's a more healthier version of monogamy 2.0, if you would.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That's
Oh,
good.
And an inclusive
and it,
dynamic.
yeah, and what does that look like?
For me,
Uh,
I think it looks like I exist here, you exist here, and then our relationship exists here, right? And I think that how we've practiced monogamy has been we just exist here.
And
You know
yeah.
what I mean? We just exist here. And this is the only place where but if we both just exist here and there's I'm not here, you're not here, how can this really thrive without us? It feels more like we're just you forget about yourselves. And then
yeah,
when that attraction fades, or when that attraction is not everything anymore, we tend to start looking for ourselves. We're like, where am I? Where am I? Oh, and then the resentment, but then you remember all the things you don't like about this relationship, because now you're like, where am I? Why don't I? Who made this decision to get into this anyway? And then because you're lost, you're in it. It's all that you see, it's all you know, it's all you're doing. So I think that a healthy dynamic is inclusive, um, like a motherfucker. Like it's
yeah,
inclusive where my
Like a motherfucker.
like I'm like seriously where my existence and experience has to matter just as much as yours. And
Mhm.
if it doesn't, if that's not the case, because we tend to take up a lot of space within dynamics, and I can totally say that I have been someone that has taken up a lot of space. It didn't make me bigger, it actually made me smaller.
Oh,
and and the thing about it is, like, I've taken a lot of space, so I've had to really understand how not to take, how to like share, how to be inclusive, how to allow space for someone else's life experience within my world. So I think that a healthy dynamic, monogamous or poly, has to be inclusive. And
yeah,
and everybody's experience has to matter.
yeah.
I
That's
love that.
facts. Yeah, that's real, and that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so much toxicity in monogamy that is unrecognizable. And when you talk about it like that, it's like that's something that's more appeasing. Like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that doesn't cause panic. Like, oh, I can exist in my world and you can exist in yours.
Exactly.
And then when we join our worlds together, that's beautiful. And then you can go back to the fucking your world and
Yeah.
I can go back to mine and then we
I
can
mean,
exist like,
because to expect you to just, from me, to be the most important thing in your life
yeah.
and vice
That,
versa, you like, what, you know what I mean? It's like
yeah.
we give ourselves to each other to
Right.
take care of. Like,
Right.
you are now responsible for me and I'm responsible for you.
Right.
No, you are responsible for yourself and I'm responsible for myself, and then we create something beautiful together. And I think that that is the foundation that if we operate from that, every relationship will be possible. Every relationship dynamic can be possible, I think. Because then, and like, also, even to take it further, because I used to always say, like, for me, I don't need to cheat, don't want to cheat, don't really it's not, I don't like lying. I have lied, I have told lies, and I've done all those things, but it doesn't feel good for me. So being in a dynamic, I have to be able to express how I feel. So if I'm dating someone and I happen to be out and I have a moment with someone, I find someone attractive, I want to be able to come home to the person I'm with and talk about it
Yeah.
without it being, oh, I'm leaving you, or oh, I'm out here doing anything, because I won't. You know what I mean? But it's a matter of, if you are confident in who you are and you know what we have and you trust me, then we should be able to have conversations about different things. It's not, doesn't mean I want to be in an open relationship. It doesn't mean I want to sleep around. It just means like, oh wow, I met someone that, that got my attention, and we shared a moment, or not a moment, or I had these thoughts, but I want a space, I want to exist within a space where I can be that, I can do that without feeling like I'm doing something wrong.
That's interesting because I was observing myself while we are talking about monogamy, and I was gonna say, because this is something that I deal with, how much of monogamy is just really wanting to be chosen over and over again. You know what I mean? Like feeling like,
I'm that shit, I'm
yeah.
special,
How
yeah.
much of it is ego? How much of monogamy is ego?
How much is ego?
I mean,
I mean, I'm trying to get the answers. You feel me? Like,
I swear, I feel like it's the way we practiced it. I think it's most of it. I think it's most of our ego, especially because even if it's and ego is not just about being the boastful or the dominant one. Ego also is shy and
Yeah.
like reclusive and like really like and keeps tabs of what
Yeah.
you've been doing and like will come through like, oh, but I'm so sweet and innocent, but like look at all these things you've done.
Right.
Look at the kind of partner you are. You're such a
Mm,
horrible partner. But let
right.
me tell you in a very nice way. And
Mm.
like there are different ways that ego shows up. I don't know if I deviated from that topic,
No,
but
that's fine.
like
No,
cool.
you're
Uh,
right.
yeah, okay, okay. All right. Well, these are great questions. I think we got some things in. We got to talk about it a little bit. Do you have any other questions?
No,
Liquid?
no, I would just.
I,
Oh, okay.
yeah, no. I'm just flowing with it. This was like great insight. Y'all put me onto some information. I'm
Dope,
I'm a,
dope.
in a deep internet dive after this.
Yo, I'm trying to listen. I'm doing the same dive. I'm like, wait a minute.
So if I ask a specific question, I'm gonna ask each of you a question. You answer it yes or no, and then we'll move on to the next section.
Okay.
So, Shelly, will you be in to be in an open relationship or not to be in one?
I'm in one right now.
Oh,
So I guess,
so
I
it's
guess
yes
yes.
for you.
I guess, yeah, I guess it's a yes for
Okay, you don't look too
me.
happy about
No, it's not. It's not like a joyful yes. It's like a yeah. I guess. I mean,
it. It's like you still figuring it out.
well, yeah. I guess.
Okay, and liquid for you, to be in an open relationship or not to be in one.
Maybe. I know you said no, but I gotta hit you with the maybe.
Maybe is valid. It's valid. That's a real answer. You know. And for me, it's not right now.
Not
Not
right
right
now.
now. Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe. It's, again, once
No.
again, it's a maybe, but not right now.
Right. Right.
Okay, cool. All right,
Okay.
awesome. Thank you so much for that. Um,
Yeah.
I want to transition into our musical feature for the day. I'm gonna pass the mic over to Liquid. Take it all over.
Absolutely. So our musical feature this week, one of my favorite artists, actually had the pleasure of meeting him throughout the New York music scene. We did parties at Santos Party House. We performed at the Out Music Awards together. And he's just probably one of my favorite creatives. His name is Baron Artist, period, at the end of that, because there's a couple Barons out there. But I got some tunes from his album Celebrity, and this first one is Crushin'.
About it. To whom is stressed about it. The way I'm feeling you, I know I just can't live without it. To be your number one man, your number one fan, your right hand, your hot man, very own Superman. So let me be your fool. Come on and bend the rules, cause we gon' do what we do. We don't have to play them fools. There ain't no life without you. Can see I'm blind without you. No mountain higher, when you fall, I will be there to catch you. We don't have to do it right, before you stay tonight. You are my lover, you
So
know that
shout
there can
out
be no other. We
to
don't
the
have to do
homie
it right. It's
Baron.
gonna be
Shout out, Baron. Okay.
Hey,
Okay.
hey, hey! How can we find them?
You can check out Baron's Instagram. He has his website as well. I think it's just at Baron Artist.
Okay,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Dope, dope. We'll have all the information below so that y'all can check him out also. And thank you for that. So we're gonna move over to the next question for the day, and it is when actually it seems we've actually talked about this and we actually covered it, but it's like when you hear the word polyamory, what comes to mind?
No.
Like, no, we didn't talk about it. We have not actually talked about this.
Because okay, can you explain the difference between polyamory and an open relationship?
Very different things.
Very different. Yeah.
Okay.
I think for me, my understanding of polyamory is uh, someone who is open in relationships, someone who has multiple partners, and they have they actually have relationships. They
Right,
have
right.
dynamics and with it with other people. They could have more than one or two, three partners, and have a wife, have a husband, have a person that they marry. In addition to those are like, but they're relationships. I think that's my understanding.
Yeah,
An open relationship is two people who are in a relationship and they date other people.
but nothing serious.
Yeah, I think I'm wondering. I'm not quite sure if in an open relationship if you can actually have other relationships outside of that. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Yeah,
What do y'all think? What do you think?
that's what I thought. I
I
thought
think, yeah,
poly
that's
was like,
too.
yeah, yeah, that's what I thought. I thought it was relationships versus like just casually dating, like have a center and then like casually dating.
Hmm. That's what you thought polyamory was, or
No,
an?
that's what I thought. Open relationship was having like a center and then casually dating around that.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought poly was like when you have like established relationships with multiple people.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Yeah.
What do you think, Liquid?
You know, I had to do a quick little search. What is the D? This is a good question. But yeah, I mean, Ozo, you hit the nail on the head. I mean, one is pretty much actually, it said that poly relationships are kind of a part of open relationship definition. Uh,
Mhm.
a type of, I should say, not a part of, but a type of an open relationship in a way. But basically, consensual, non monogamous relationships. And it's kind of like you said, one involves um, uh, partners who can have sex with relationships. I mean, sexual relationships outside of each other, and poly is about having the intimate, loving relationships with multiple people. So that's the difference, kind of.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, it's pretty much what you said.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So yeah, poly for me, no.
No.
Yeah.
Why not?
Mm-mm. I have to work through a lot of stuff for me to even be able to show up for a poly relationship. Like
That's
I have
real.
to work for a lot. I have to work through a lot of things.
That's real. What about
Yeah.
you, Liquid?
I think that's valid. It's tough because again, the polyamorous goes into the intimate portion of what you share with someone else, and I could see how that would be. Because I mean, open relationship, you know, it could, depending on the boundaries that you set, right? Um, some people are completely able to disassociate sex and love. Well, a lot of people, I guess, to some
Mm.
degree. And you know, within an open relationship, like you always come back to your that one place of, we still have this special thing that's just for us, even though we're sharing these other parts of ourselves with other people. We still have this one um, commonality. Whereas it with a poly relationship, all of that's, you know, everything's up for grabs at that point. And then I don't even know if in poly relationships, um, you know, it's community or communal. Is that a proper way to say it? Like, are you like all loving each other, or is it these
Well, you
intimate
don't have to.
relationships? You don't have to, right? So
But
yeah,
you can. But you can
but
though. I
yeah,
think.
okay. So yeah, I think that poly, that would be a little tougher for me because yeah, I can be selfish with certain parts of
Yeah.
intimacy
Yeah.
more so. I think more so than sex to some degree, but that's depending on what mood I'm in.
So, like, the only thing that would stop you from being in an in a polyamorous relationship is the thought of your partner being intimate with someone else.
Like saying the
More,
same
more
thing to you.
I'm sorry.
than exactly, Shelly. Yeah, more
You know what I'm saying?
intimate than
Well,
with
no, I'm sorry. Say that again because I didn't hear it. What did you say?
saying the same thing, like whatever our connection is. Like, it's one thing if we have a special thing, you know, and this is outside of sex. This is just our connection, our deep bond, the things that pulls us together, if that's our own special, unique thing, okay, cool. If you want to have these other things, these small things with other people, I feel less. I feel less of the fear we were talking about. But the moment you start sharing that special thing, I have a problem with it. No, because that's our thing. That's for us.
Right. That's our
Because you want to
thing.
be special. Because you want to be
You want to
special.
be
I'm
special.
special.
You want to be
I'm
chosen. You want to
special.
be in that space.
I
No,
want to
that's
be
real.
I'm
chosen. I want to be
special.
That's
number
real.
one. You
No, that's real.
So yeah, I can't. I don't know if I can like fully say that I could be in an open, honest poly relationship. I haven't evolved to that point yet. I'll say it like that.
Right. Poly. What makes poly attractive though? What I would like about it is the tribe building.
Mhm.
Like I like the fact that because you're open with these relationships, it's almost like they're healthier. And it's like all these relationships are making that one person that you love stronger and more loving, more aware of themselves. So I see the beauty in poly when it's done correctly. I see the beauty in just all that love into one
Because it
thing.
magnifies. Yeah, you
It
intensify
magnifies the love. Yeah,
the love
exactly.
that is shared. Yeah.
Right, right. Because I respect like having somebody that can pour into you in a way that I can't. Right. So then it makes you stronger. I can respect that. I like that actually. I
So
like not having to be.
maybe you are better suited for.
This is what I'm just saying. These are the things that I like that I've observed. The things that I like more come with a monogamous kind of dynamic. But I appreciate not being your go to for everything. I appreciate you being able to be loved by multiple people and feeling that way. Like that makes a person feel good. Like I appreciate that.
I really think that, yeah, definitely continue doing the work to unpack the things, because the words you chosen to describe how what you love about poly, those are the healthy things. That's what like wanting more love, wanting the person you love to love more, to have more love in their lives and be more confident and love and be happier. Those are great things.
That is what I
So
want.
tap
Yeah.
into that, release your fear so you can tap in to the polyamory life that you so desire.
No, it's definitely abandonment issues. It's definitely abandonment
Oh,
issues.
that's real. It's real.
Yeah,
That's real. That
that's
is
real.
real.
The Black Mirror episode, Black Mirror. I'm so sorry. It's the creators are from the show Black Mirror, but Soulmates. Have you all seen Soulmates?
Mhm.
So it's a very interesting episode. I think it's episode 5 where this married couple are in an open relationship, and it's interesting because by the end of the episode they're in a poly relationship, very different. And I just thought about it while we were talking through this. But if you ever get it to check it out,
I'm checking
it
it.
starts with them being able to go off, have their dates. It has all the communication elements, as the love element, it has the foundation, and kind of like what I was talking about, the intimacy part where you could tell that they share one thing with them that they don't
Mm.
share with these other partners. And it opens with, the wife and the husband both coming back from dates, and they're like asking, how was it? Or what was he like? And he's like, okay, that's enough. They share enough, they have their boundaries. But the premise of the show is people find their soulmates through this computer generator algorithm that matches you up with your perfect person. So anyway, the wife takes the test and ends up getting matched with a woman, but she's not gay. She's been straight her entire life. I'll leave it at that, so you can, if you want to see
Yeah. Okay. Where's it at? Wait, where's it at?
it. it who produces the show? It's escaping me, but it's called Soulmates, and it's
We'll
from
look
the
into it.
makers
No,
of
no.
Black Mirror. It's very interesting, but I won't give any spoilers. But it ends in a poly situation, and
Oh, that's
Wow.
interesting. Well, you kind of you gave the spoiler. If
Right, right, right. The
she
lesbian.
clearly liked that, so
I'll say it's not how you traditionally think it would be.
Yeah,
okay,
I'll
that's
leave it
all.
okay.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, great, great, great. Thank you for that. I'll definitely check it out. So I want to do the second song of the artist before we head out for the day.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. So
absolutely. And I did grab Baron's Instagram. I was completely wrong. It's actually the Baron Right. It's at the Baron Right. and he is a creative coach and lead trainer at Baron Arts Inc. So y'all, please check out Baron.
Hey.
Hey lady, I've been thinking about you and I want you to be my baby. Oh, if you do, it'll be cool for you to come and save me. I've been here too long, away from all the things that drive me crazy. Like you and me, yeah, let's fly away and don't take you on a journey. I'll take you to my galaxy. We'll lose the chance and fly away. Wanna be with me? Oh, baby, just be with me.
I know it sounds like we are in the 80s. That was so
It was
dope.
so Prince inspired. I really felt
Yeah,
Prince on that one. Yeah.
All right.
definitely. That was dope. That
Yeah.
was awesome.
So shout out to Baron.
All right, Baron.
To Darren. Yes, yes. Okay, wonderful. Okay, great. I feel like we can wrap it up for the day. I think
Yeah.
that we did, this is a great topic. I learned some things. I got to release
Okay.
things, you know.
Okay.
And before we head out, I just want to have Shelly just let us know a little bit about who you are. Just do an intro real quick, and then Liquid do the same, and then we'll get out of here for the day.
All right. You already know it's your girl, Shelly Shell, creator and host of Let's Talk Radio, and I just aspire to be the community homie. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
let me know what you need. I'm the community resource.
Yes, you are. Liquid.
Absolutely. My name is DJ Liquid. I'm a DJ, MC, music supervisor, and Afrofuturist. I believe that Black people exist in the future and that we will soon see the Black film future. So,
Oh.
let's fill up.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
love. That's dope. That's dope. And I'm Uzo, your host. And yeah, thank you all so much for being here. This is the What is Love podcast. And stay tuned for so many more episodes coming to you. And
Hey.
on that note, take care of yourself. And see Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful weekend. And I'll talk to you later. Take care.